When I was little, I dreamed of becoming all sorts of things. An astronaut, a restaurant owner, maybe even the president one day. What I never imagined was ending up as that girl, the one who went viral for smashing her wedding cake into her new husband's face during the reception. But let me start from the beginning. Growing up, I had what most people would call an easy life. My parents were wealthy business owners, and I went to an elite private school where everyone knew my name. My friends loved coming over because my parents went all out. Gourmet dinners, sleepovers in our home theater, and yes, we even had staff who handled all my chores. On my 13th birthday, my parents literally hired a circus to perform in our backyard. It was a dream childhood, or so I thought. One day at school, a girl snapped at me and said, "Oh my God, Rachel, you're so clueless. No one actually likes you, they just like your money." Her words stung more than I wanted to admit. I brushed it off and told myself she was wrong. People liked me for me. Things started to shift during my last year of high school. My parents became tense, constantly arguing behind closed doors. We stopped going to fancy dinners, and some of our household staff were suddenly let go. When I asked about it, my dad would just smile and say, "Don't worry your pretty little head, princess. Everything's fine." Soon after, I noticed we had more security than usual. When I turned 18, my parents assigned me a personal bodyguard named Liam. He wasn't much older than me, and honestly, he was handsome, charming, funny, the kind of guy I shouldn't have been flirting with, but did anyway. One night, we were lying under the stars, talking about the future. I told him I'd probably join my parents' company. He laughed, actually laughed, and asked if I even knew what my parents did. I didn't. And that's when I realized how sheltered I really was. I wanted to prove I wasn't some spoiled princess, but when I asked my dad about the company, he brushed me off again. Eventually, I stopped asking. Liam and I barely spoke for weeks after that. Then one night, I came home to find rose petals spread across my bed and an apology note from him, saying he believed in me. It was cheesy, but I melted. We were back on good terms. At the end of senior year, my classmates threw a bonfire party. I begged my parents to let me go alone. No Liam this time. Just once, I wanted to feel normal. Before I left, my dad handed me a thick folder. "Throw this in the fire," he said. "Old bank stuff, just to be safe." I didn't question him. I never did. On my way to the party, someone suddenly ran up behind me, knocked me down, and snatched my bag. I tried to hold on, but they were stronger. The thief disappeared into the dark, and I just stood there trembling, bruised, terrified, and knowing my dad would be furious. Then Liam appeared out of nowhere. I ran straight into his arms, crying. When I asked if my parents had sent him to follow me, he said no, he was just worried about me. That moment sealed it. I thought I'd found my knight in shining armor, but soon everything collapsed. A few weeks later, police raided our house. My parents were arrested. I was told they'd been running a massive pyramid scheme, stealing millions from investors. Overnight, my perfect life vanished. My friends disappeared too. I lost our house, my college plans, everything. Liam was the only one who stayed. Through the trial and the public shame, he stood by me. He helped me find a tiny apartment and even walked me to work when I got a job at a mall clothing store. Whenever someone recognized me and called me names, he was there to calm me down. One night, after a cheap dinner and a bottle of wine, we argued. I told him how unfair it all was, that I missed my old life. He told me I needed to stop expecting things to come easily. "You're not special just because your parents had money," he said. His words felt like a slap. I locked myself in the bedroom and cried. A few hours later, he came in, apologetic. "You're stronger than you know," he said, holding a small velvet box. He got down on one knee. "Will you marry me?" I said yes, of course. A year later, we finally had enough money for a modest wedding. My dad was released early from prison, and I was thrilled he could walk me down the aisle. I'd forgiven him, or at least tried to, but the day of the wedding, something strange happened. As Liam walked out with his mother, I looked at my dad and he looked absolutely horrified. He whispered that we needed to talk, but I was too busy celebrating to listen. Later that night, at the reception, he pulled me aside. His face was pale. "Rachel," he said quietly, "the man you just married is the one who destroyed our family." I froze. He told me Liam had been the one who arranged for my bag to be stolen the night of the bonfire, to get evidence against my parents for the FBI. He made sure to be there afterward, my dad said, so you'd trust him. I didn't want to believe it, but deep down, I knew it was true. Liam had lied for years. I stormed back into the hall, marched to the dessert table, and grabbed the 3-tier wedding cake. Before he even noticed me, I hurled it right into his face. The entire room went silent. Frosting dripped down his tuxedo as guests gasped and phones went up, recording everything. "You liar," I shouted. "You said no more secrets, but you were the biggest one of all." Then I took off my wedding rings and threw them at his feet. The video spread everywhere. I became a meme, a headline, a joke. For weeks, I didn't leave my apartment. Eventually, Liam showed up at my door begging to explain. He told me everything, that he had once admired me but couldn't stand watching my parents' crimes go unpunished. He said he'd always loved me, that his feelings were real. Maybe they were, but I didn't care anymore. "You taught me to be strong," I told him. "And now I'm strong enough to tell you to leave. I'm no longer the clueless rich girl who lets other people control her life. I may have lost everything, but for the first time, I finally found myself."